The power demands on some of the latest PC hardware out there that we're seeing are getting pretty insane. I think it's pretty safe to say we're past the days where you can just slap a cheap 500 watt power supply in a new gaming system and be good to go. Let's say, for example, we're building a system and we want to use one of Intel's new 12th gen CPUs. This one's the Core i9-12900K, and according to Intel, the max turbo power on here is 241 watts. That's a lot. Now let's look at one of the more popular GPUs out there right now. This is an Asus RTX 3070 Ti, and they're recommending you pair this card with a 750 watt PSU. Now, if you consider a situation where you might be throwing in 4 sticks of RAM, a bunch of M.2 drives, some hard drives for extra storage, some RGB case fans, and a big AIO cooler, it's really not hard to end up with a total power requirement for the entire system, like 850, 1000 watts, and maybe even more sometimes. That right there is exactly why we're seeing stuff like this. Be Quiet's expanding their Pure Power 11 FM series of power supplies to include 2 new high wattage models at 850 and 1000 watts. Up until now, if you wanted that kind of power from Be Quiet, you had to jump over to their more expensive straight power or dark power series. So what they're really doing here is they're giving us some higher wattage options at a much lower and more affordable price point. And that's really good for system builders, and I'm all for it. Key features on the Pure Power 11 FM series are 2 strong independent 12-volt rails, fully modular cables, 80+ gold certifications, and 120mm custom-tuned fans designed to balance cooling and silence. But the noise profile does vary from model to model, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. The actual units themselves are all the same size right across the Pure Power 11 FM lineup, so it doesn't matter if you get the 550 watt or the 1000 watt, they're going to take up the exact same amount of space inside your case. What does change though is the connector panel. The higher wattage models will give you a few extra modular connections. Here's the 550 compared to the 850 watt model. You can see there's an extra P8 connector on here, and if you move up to the 1000 watt model, there's also an extra PCI Express connector. If you're somebody that's concerned with the overall noise profile of your system, then you're going to want to pay attention to this part. Noise output on the 850 looks pretty good, topping out around 25 decibels under full load and well under 20 decibels all the way up to 90%. That's pretty quiet. But don't expect the same silence from the 1000 watt model. Things generally stay pretty quiet on this one all the way up to around 90% load, but then there's a really big jump in noise when you go from 90 to 100%. I don't think it's gonna be like jet engine loud or anything crazy. I mean, 32 decibels, there's power supplies out there that make more noise than that. But it highlights a potential downside of pushing for higher wattage in a lower price bracket. All the power supplies in the Pure Power 11 FM lineup are gold certified efficiency. And even though that's quite good, once you start to push like 1000 watts through one of these units, the amount of waste heat left over, even though it's gold certified, is gonna be significant. And it's gonna require a decent amount of cooling. And more cooling means more noise. That's just the way that it works. That's one of the reasons you'll often see platinum or titanium level efficiency on some of the really big high wattage power supplies, especially if they're quiet. So if you want to save some money with the 1000 watt model, you can definitely do that, but just know that it comes at the cost of some extra noise that you can otherwise avoid by spending a bit more and going up a tier to one of the higher end models. That's the trade-off. The other thing you can expect with the higher wattage models in this family is more cables and more connectors. You're going to be able to build bigger systems with more drives, more fans, more RGB, and most importantly, bigger GPUs. Be Quiet's including 4 6+2 PCI Express connectors on the 850 watt model and 6 of them on the 1000. So that's basically it. We've got the same Pure Power 11 FM design, same modularity, same features, but now with more power. And that added power comes at the cost of a little bit more noise. Retail prices are $130 for the 850 and $160 for the 1000. I'm gonna have full specs, details, links, all that stuff down in the description for you. Check that stuff out if you're interested, and come back soon for more content. And we'll see ya.